Women are lashing out at men for creating soft guy era. I was watching an MK Fitness stream earlier, and he talked about how countries are already starting to draft women, which is very interesting. I think you mentioned Sweden has already started doing it. And a lot of this is being done to create fear because most women are not going to end up going overseas. The goal is not to actually force women to be in the military. The goal is to force women to basically do the things that the state wants them to do. And of course, we live in fear based societies. Western society is a fear based society. So this is what's occurring. Women are up in arms right now over soft guy era. They are furious over it, especially black women, who were out here with Miss Independent pushing this message for so long. And now you look at the reality of things and it's insane. They are infuriated, they're disgusted. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Not all black women are Keishas and not all white women are Karens, but Keisha and Karen are the same person. And you can see these women on social media, these Keishas on social media, raging and hollering and screaming over soft guy era and trying to shame men as a result of guys saying that they know they know their value, they know that they're the prize, and if a woman wanted to, she would. And now it's really infuriating them because they don't have any recourse to this, and the men are just using the exact same words that these women are using. I caught a stream earlier. I just saw a stream, and it's pretty insane. We're gonna watch it together because I didn't really watch almost any of it. It's just it's essentially y'all are broken men, jaded women. Anton goes off on panel, says they need to fix themselves. So this actually comes from Anton Daniels. You can go and check out his channel. It's linked in the description of the video. And basically, he had a large panel of black men and black women on there. And these black women are going off on black men for soft guy era. They are beyond furious that these men have the nerve to walk away from Western society, walk away from relationships, focus on self-care, self-preservation. And they're saying that soft guy era is essentially because these men are broken because they don't know how to be men anymore. They don't want to be men anymore. Real men step up. Real men have positive masculinity. Guys, I told y'all, men are done with this whole masculinity nonsense in Western society. They're done with the alpha male BS. They're done with all of that. Men are in their beautiful, they're in their Hakuna Matata era right now. Let's jump right into the video.
I don't think there's a difference. I think every time you go outside, I can use myself. I'm not gonna meet the most quality of women, especially if I'm going to a bar.
Like, where are you going? Like, what situation are you putting yourself in that you don't?
That's not our intent when we go out.
He's saying go outside just to be outside.
God damn.
No, he's saying
you were gonna do anyway.
Like, if you're just going outside to
I understand what he's saying, but y'all not letting me actually finish.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Go outside, even if you're going outside just to say I go to the gym. How do we know those women in the gym are not creating IG influencer OF model content? Are they
okay. They're not the ones.
Y'all see that? So these men, so you have men now who no longer want to go out into society. I warned about this. I said that men were retreating into their homes, all right, and living simple lives of luxury. They are choosing to avoid Western society entirely. They are walking away. And this is the reason why the government wants to now observe men and track men inside of their homes, listen to their conversations over video games, see the games that they're playing, because it's becoming more difficult to track men in society because men aren't going out and outside anymore. So now that you cannot surveil them outside, they need to surveil them while they're inside their homes. What are they doing in their homes? What are they saying in their homes? What are they thinking? It's guys, it's frightening. It is frightening the government. Because the government is seeing that men are basically going off the grid, avoiding society, refusing to enter society, staying inside all day. What are these men doing inside their homes? It's hard, just going around from door to door and sending in your agents to basically see what these men are doing inside their homes. It's very hard to do that. It's not impossible. And they have to have reasons to do that. But before they can do that, they have to have a reason. So what are they doing? They're putting men under surveillance. They're tracking the YouTube videos that men are watching. They're demanding the personal information of every man who's watched a specific video on YouTube. It's extreme surveillance. Oh, you watched this video on YouTube? We need to know every single person that's watched this video. And we're going to go and get a court order to do this. Let me make this very clear. It's unconstitutional. It's 100% unconstitutional, but it's going to take time to make its way to the Supreme Court. because they were able to go and get a court order to do this, and Google was more than happy to turn over this information, turn over the information of hundreds of thousands of men of what, because that just simply watched a video on YouTube, not that watched a video on YouTube that may have that hands down popped up in their feed. Do y'all see that? Do you see the reality that we're living in right now? And women are furious. Like, these women are going ballistic because men don't want to engage in society anymore. Men don't want to go out anymore. They don't want to go to the gym anymore. They're building home gyms. They're like, okay, well, these things are happening in the gyms right now. Women are doing these things in the gyms. We're not going to go to the gyms anymore. We're going to avoid the gyms. Oh, well, you don't know what's going to happen if we go to Starbucks. We're avoiding Starbucks. Listen to me. We don't know what could happen to the park. A woman could say that they were in the park and something happened. We're not going to go into the park. And all the while, you then have things like the M2 raging its ugly head again, where they're basically getting ready to go after men from all walks of life, while at the same time saying that men are crazy. And obviously they're not going after like the average guy. They're going after the really bad men, like the janitor that cleans up the poopy water at McDonald's. This guy doesn't know how to be respectful, so he needs to do some jail time and have his life destroyed. And McDonald's needs to pay out billions of dollars to all of these women who've gone through these experiences for decades, going all the way back to the 1970s. Guys, you're going to have women from the 1970s saying that they worked at McDonald's in the 1970s, and these issues plagued McDonald's in the 1970s, and they have PTSD and trauma and then this happened and that happened in a bathroom and all of this stuff, and they need to be compensated. You're going to have women coming out of the woodworks, going back 50 years, M2ing 50 years ago. We've seen it already. It's happened numerous times already. They're going to be going back 50 years, okay? 50 years or more than 50 years. Think that they need to be compensated, all right? Over literally nothing that can be proven, all right? And it won't even be the company. It'll be like some poor little sap saying that this idiot, this guy that they worked with was like, or all of these people that they worked with. It doesn't, guys, look at what happened with the whole Brett Kavanaugh thing. You don't need proof. You don't need evidence. You just need to point, click, and that's it. Point, click, and say that it happened. And we are in the whole believe all women era. So believe all women, point, and that's it. And of course, none of this is constitutional. If it goes before the Supreme Court, more times than not, unless they pack the Supreme Court, they're going to lose. But they don't care, because of all the damage that they will do during that time, it's validated. They basically get what they've wanted.
Oh, now if I go to the grocery store, is that a quality? Where do I go for the quality women? Now, if I'm just outside willy-nilly, I'm just outside.
I don't know how I'm missing this point.
That's not
what he said, I literally say, don't go outside to find women.
Okay, cool. Now I'm saying that. I'm
literally asking me,
I'm not outside.
Where am I going to find these quality women?
Okay, cool. Let me remove away from that point. I'm not gonna meet any women outside. So I'm just going outside aimlessly. I could be doing something, building, I could be working, I could be getting something done, but I'm just outside because magically I might meet the woman of my dreams. That's not how it works.
That's not what I'm telling you to do.
I think now I get it. They're just saying put yourself out there. Don't go into the intent of finding that person. Just put yourself out there, because if we're gonna,
Y'all see this now? They are furious. The women are furious. The simps are furious because men are abandoning society. Men are walking away from Western society and relationships in Western society. And I told you, even if they stay in Western society, they're just focusing on themselves. They're focusing on their money. They're making enough money to survive and thrive and not a dime more. These women are like, what? How dare you? We're not telling you that you have to go outside and find someone, but at least just put yourself out there so that you're there. And if something happens, it happens. These guys, I told y'all, right? I told you, these women will no longer have access to these men. All right. There's no more Step Up Dad. There's no more men coming to clean up behind little Tyrone Jr., wipe his butt. It's not happening. Buy diapers and baby formula. Those days are finished, and these women are panicking. The women are panicking. The simps are panicking because these men are refusing to leave their homes. They're like, I could stay home. I could get something done. I could get some work done. I could day trade. I could work on my skill sets, work on my music, do something that makes me happy, play video games. I have a home gym set up. I could work on my body at my home gym. Why do I need to go out and interact with these people? Why do I need to worry about, confrontation or issues with a woman there? I go to the gym. She's like filming for Instagram. I don't need to worry about any of that. I'm just gonna stay home, play video games, watch television, work on myself. I could learn a new language. If I want to date, I could just go overseas. I'll go overseas if I want to date. If I want to, do certain things, I'll go overseas. But otherwise, I'm just gonna stay home and stay away from y'all. You guys can have society. You can go out, guys. Here's the thing: a society without its men is not a society. A country without its men is not a country. A country without its men is a wasteland. And this is the reality that we are in right now. It's a sad reality, but it's a reality that women have created for themselves.
About you, but if we're gonna find somebody, we're not gonna find them at home. So we have to put ourselves out there to even be found.
Can I go to a job interview with no type of intention on getting a job? I would just go show up to the job interview like,
Do you hear what these women are saying? If we're going to find someone, we have to go out there to find someone. So it's all about me, 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 me. Basically women are complaining now because men don't want to go out anymore. So how can a woman get to the man and destroy his life if the man won't even leave his house anymore? Okay, a lot of these men are avoiding social media now. They're getting off social media. They're staying away from Instagram. They're staying away from Tinder. They're staying away from Facebook. They're staying away from OnlyFools and OnlyFans. They're staying away from these platforms. Okay, and they're not going out into public anymore. They're not going out where women can walk up to them or where women can say something, or they're not putting themselves in harm's way. And women are like, this is childish stuff, blah blah blah. But all of that shaming language, they're also realizing that they are pushing the men. They've pushed the men to the point that they've pushed them inside of their homes or out of the country. And now they are arguing and getting infuriated. And then the simps you can see the simps lashing out at these men because these men are walking away from Western society and relationships in Western society. And I told you this was happening. You have these men running away to Asia. Brett Cooper talked about it. She's like, women are out here doing this while their men are running away to Asia, running away to East Asia. I had this one black dude in the comments who said that he's done with Aisha and his loyalties are with Trainee. And for reference, that's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Aisha was the second Yellow Ranger, and then Tai Trong, she was the first Yellow Ranger, and evidently she was, I think, Vietnamese. I have to double check. Mayumi, actually, I thought she was Chinese. I thought she was Chinese, but then Mayumi actually corrected me in the chat and said that she was Vietnamese. And double checking, she is 100% Vietnamese. She was a Vietnamese-born actress based in the United States. She unfortunately passed away in 2001. She would have been 51 this year. She was born December 14, 1973. And yeah, this is the reality of it. Women in Western society are now so stigmatized that men are choosing. Men are like, yeah, I'll go over to Asia. I'll get a woman from Asia. If I want a black woman, I'll go over to South America, or I'll go to the Caribbean, or I'll go to Africa. But I'm not going to mess around in any predominantly white English-speaking Western countries. I'm done with that. I'm staying like United States, United Kingdom. United States and United Kingdom, they're the same country, more so than Canada. You will discover this. Many of you will discover this very soon. Never, ever confuse this. The United States and the United Kingdom are the same country, okay? More so than the United States and Canada. The United States and Canada are both North America. They are both on the same continent. But the United States and the United Kingdom, they may be separated by a large body of water, but they are 150% the same country, okay? How do you know this? Because when one goes to war, the other goes to war. And the same crap that's happening here is happening there. We vote in each other's elections. Never forget that. That's something very important that you guys need to understand. Because when you understand that, you'll understand how the world actually works and how these countries actually operate.
You know what the problem with this is, Furious?
You looking for a job.
You know what the problem with you is, Furious?
Most men are looking for good women.
True.
Listen,
they will come.
You know what the problem with Furious is?
You
know what the problem with Furious is?
Is that
he's had so much experience. He has so much experience that he's not actually having this conversation to look for a right answer. He's having this conversation to disprove what it is that we already know is true. One thing that you're not experiencing is finding a wife. As much as you awesome and as many chicks as you fucked,
come on, man.
You have never been married. No, listen. You awesome. I know it. You get it. And I rock with you, bro. But you don't know shit about marriage. You don't know shit about finding a wife because you've never done it before. So when you ask me these questions, you can't ask me to disprove it.
Y'all see the traditionalism BS now? Oh, the reason why y'all are suffering out there is because you've been chasing girls. You've been chasing girls. You haven't been chasing women. All right. And it's a whole different thing. Guys, the traditionalists are pissed off. All right. The traditionalists are pissed off. They are furious as hell. Okay. Michael Knowles and the rest of these dudes. What's that guy who fired Candace Owens? I can't even remember that dude's name, but but you know where Candace Owens used to work. Guys, these people, they're pissed off. They are 100% pissed off over what's going on, because they see that men are walking away from traditionalism. They see that men are walking away from marriage, and listen, and they're pissed off. This is the reality of it. You know, you have NBC raging about the fall of marriage and relationships and men walking away from society, and how that's causing a decline that's causing a serious decline. A lot of companies are shutting down. Okay, all of that income. You see, men make the big purchases. Men are the ones who keep the economy going. Women make 80% of consumer purchases, but when it comes to actually creating stability and opportunity and prosperity, that's done by men. Men are the ones who create, stable small businesses. Men are the ones who live beneath their means so that others can survive and thrive. That's the reason why they end up becoming billionaires. They are in 2023, I think it was 2023, that year there were a bunch of female billionaires, and not a single one of them was self-made. Tons of female billionaires, and not a single one of them was self-made. All of them inherited their wealth. And that's the modern state for women. There's this one girl on here, and all of these chicks, her name is Simone, and I talked about her before. And this girl is literally on here talking about how to manipulate men, how to take advantage of men, how to use platforms to find wealthy men so that you can use them to build your life off them, right? And she puts and she's using hashtag trillionaire gang in on social media, because billionaires are nothing. Like, billionaires are boring at this point. A billionaire is boring, y'all. This is how women operate. That's why you say you can never make a woman happy. Billionaires in 2024 are boring. All right, women deserve trillionaires. Think about that. Like I said, I'm going to link you to the full. You'll get the full video in the comments, in the description. So if you want to check out the full video from Antoine? Is it Antoine? Is it Antoine from his channel? You can check out his channel. Check out the full video from Anton. Like, these guys, these names, Anton Daniels. You'll be able to check out the full video. Also check out his channel. But this is the reality of it. Like, you can see the fury of these women, because he's like, oh, you've been physical with a bunch of women, but you've never actually been. You've been physical with a bunch of women, but you've never actually been married to a woman. Marriage is completely different. Marriage is completely different. Guys, they're panicking. They're panicking.
You have to ask me to listen to understand what I'm saying. And so I'm not telling you to go out and find and look for a quality woman. I just went through my mental Rolodex when I jumped off the camera for a minute. And I was talking to Rita, and I said, hey, can you think of anybody that went out to find their spouse that's still married today? And she said no. And I can't either. Not any of my uncles, not any of my brothers, or any of that. We naturally met the people that we were supposed to be with without even looking for it or even paying attention to the person that we wound up getting married to.
Carrie, how'd you meet your husband?
He and I worked for the same place that
they worked together.
I worked at the same place that was his client.
So I have a question, but okay.
They specifically say don't meet people at your job.
They worked at home, but I got a question.
It was his
guys,
client. It was my employer. It was one of his clients.
But see, you guys talk about it all the time. Like men nowadays, they don't really go up to women nowadays. Women nowadays, they reject men. So it's like the dating culture atmosphere wasn't the time like Law when you got married, Anton when you got married. You know, a lot of people. I went out with some of my softball players to the bar a week and a half ago, and the guys were like, "Is this?" Yeah, the guys were like, "Is this the dating scene? Are these the women that are out here?"
The bar.
Literally just got engaged, and he's 20 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where did he
meet her? Where did he meet her?
He met her in school.
Who meets in bars? Who meets their wife or husband in bars?
Y'all see what's going on right here? The desperation. They are desperate out here, y'all. The men are the men are rejecting them. The men are like, guys, men are no longer, men are done. And this woman said it herself. Like, men are like, women are still out here rejecting men. Women are still out here on the total. Men don't even want to talk to women anymore. And the very few men who will even speak to a woman are still getting rejected. And then women are screeching and hollering because men don't want to go into society anymore. Men are no longer approaching women, and women are still rejecting men. Think about the logistics. Like, these women are something else. The very few men that are still speaking to them, they are rejecting them. They are pushing them away. They are shaming them. They are disrespecting them. And then at the same time, they are furious because men are basically retreating inside of their homes and avoiding any contact whatsoever, or making as little contact with women in Western society as possible. They're giving them exactly what they asked for. They're never approaching a woman that they don't know. They're not, if a woman smiles at them, they're like, okay, yeah, she's smiling at me. That doesn't mean she wants to have anything to do with me. Okay? They're giving them exactly what they want. It's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And God did not put us here to worship a woman. At the same time, women have their own money. They are big, they are powerful, they are strong, they're independent. So they can pay for some stuff. They can pay for their own meals, and they can pay for my meal too, because I am the prize. All right. Guys, this whole thing with women right now, they are lashing out also against what they created. For example, they created feminism, but then they don't want to live by the standards of feminism that they created. Like, you can see, like, check this out, what fifth wave feminism is right now, how they're defining it. The fifth wave shares similarities with the second wave, focus, reiterating the women's rights, that women's rights are equal to the basic human rights. Notice that they don't say men's rights, right? Because men don't have rights. Rejecting comparisons to men and emphasizing the creation of unique female identities. So why wouldn't you compare men to women? Because women wanted the same rights as men. And they say that, right? Isn't that what it was about? In other words, human rights and men's rights are not the same thing. Only women have human rights. Men don't have rights, okay? Men are basically have special punishments, while women get special privileges. Women should not be compared to men, as women have unique female identities, and as such, unique spaces, unique needs. So they need special spaces, they need special privileges, and you need what we call equity to then create equality. Y'all see that? They need, because until women feel equal, they are not equal, but they do not want to be the same as men. In other words, they don't want equality to men. They want something else. They want special privileges, they want special privileges. They want, special funding. They want their own spaces, and then the men's as well. Okay? This is the reality. Unlike the fourth wave, which avoided confrontational language, the fifth wave embraces the term feminism and aligns with earlier feminist movements. So now they're going back to first wave and second wave feminism, guys. Now, this is intriguing. This is very, very intriguing. The women taking to the streets. This Gloria Steinem had actually said that, like, the future of feminism was on the streets. From the streets, it is from the streets that they came, it is to the streets that they shall return. So after all the hooing and hollering on social media, now they're going to take back to the streets and begin hollering on the streets again, as men are completely abandoning society and avoiding the streets. So they're going to be on the streets by themselves, hollering that they need rights, and people like, well, you have rights, we need more rights, We need special privileges. We need this. We need that. We need. Okay. So what does that look like? Money. We need more money, but we're spending tens of hundreds of billions of dollars on women every year. We need trillions. We need trillions of dollars in spending. And it's like, bro, the GDP, we're not even taking in that kind of money. Take it out on credit. We don't care. All right. We need change. We need change, and we need the men to change as well. How do you need the men to change? There's a culture of misogyny, and okay, so what do you want us to do? You need to do this and this. We've already done that. Well, you need to do it. You need to do it again. Do it again. Do it again. We're currently doing that. Do it some more. This is the reality that they're in right now. Okay, this is the reality that they're in right now. Like women, like basically men are basically locking themselves away at home, and women are like, they want to surveil men. It's like they could put men in prison, and men would be on their surveillance in prison. It's like if women could know what men are thinking, they would like to surveil the thoughts of men. At this point, they want to control the minds of men. They want robots. But here's the thing: you create robots, you take away the autonomy and the age and the ability to live freely, then you just have machines. So I mean, but the thing is, women cannot handle that because robots will not provide for them. Robots will not. Robots will not are not alive, guys. There's no coming back from any of this. All right, the future of men is basically walking away from Western society and relationships with Western society. Men walking away, focusing on on their self-preservation and self-care. And the only thing women ever go back to is, oh well, if you don't love us, if you don't marry us, no babies. And men are like, listen, Felicia. All right, the rest of the world will go on. People are having babies all around the world in all of these other countries right now. And even if the world were to come to an end, that's not my problem. I'm focusing on myself, and I'm focusing on myself and my self-preservation right now. Well, if you don't do something, everything's gonna end, and you're not a real man. Okay, that's fine, Felicia. That's fine, Felicia. I don't care about being a real man. You're down low, brother. Okay, that's cool. All right. Anyway, we're not having this conversation. Block. This man blocked me. This man blocked me. He doesn't want to talk to me. These men need to learn how to be men. Guys, this is crazy stuff. This is crazy stuff that these women are on right now. All right? It's like the key to understanding these people at this point is to basically, just look at what functional insanity is. And it's like, okay, well, like, functional insanity at best. And once you comprehend that, that's when you can really start to say, okay, now I'm beginning to understand women, you know, because there's guys, a lot of women have get furious at me when I say that men should not try to make a woman happy. Only women can make themselves happy. That makes them extremely angry. That's something that they don't want to hear. Men not trying to make women happy. That pisses them off. And women are out here humiliating men. Women think it's funny. They think it's hilarious to humiliate men. Dave Chappelle talked about this thing that women were doing with Asian men. Okay? He talked about how Asian women are humiliating Asian men. They had made it a pastime to humiliate their men, to emasculate their men. And they thought that there would be no consequences for it. And it's like they don't understand that these men are walking like men are men no matter where you go. And then, guys, men are seeing this and they're like, yeah, you know what? No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't need this. I don't need this in my life. I'm not even going to leave the house. I'm going to avoid it. I'm going to avoid it entirely. Like, look at this. Look at these comments on here. The plot twist I never knew I needed. Really serving up the looks for the people. This is almost all the wishes of wives, right? And these women did this to their men. They did this to their men. They decided they were going to emasculate their men. Look at that. Guy comes home from work, hardworking Asian guy, and she takes off the slippers, takes off her shoes, slips on the slippers, takes off his jacket, puts on the apron that says, "Don't mess with the cook," and gloves, so that because he has to do the washing. Look at this washing already doing. Look at this already doing the already washing the dishes. So in other words, he has to cook the food and wash the dishes and clean up. So after working a long day, after working his butt off, he has to come home and be emasculated. Okay? So he has to do all the work outside of the house, do all the work inside of the house, and his reward is he gets to have a wife. And in the comments, they're celebrating this. The plot twist I never knew I needed. Johnny got the king treatment on the oh my, this escalated quickly. This is what it means to be a king in Western society today. A king to be a servant and an indentured servant. All right? Forget about that. Forget about that. Men are done with this nonsense. Men are in their Hakuna Matata era right now. Guys, don't forget I have another channel called Angry where I discuss gaming, anime, geek stuff, nerd stuff, real world stuff, or whatever else interests me. There's a link to an description video. Go check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Enjoy my work. And also, don't forget that I have another channel called Men Walking Away. If you enjoyed the content on this channel and you want even more of this content, head over to the Men Walking Away channel. There's a link to it in the description video. Go check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Enjoy my work. Guys, women are lashing out at men for creating soft guy era. Let me know your thoughts on this, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA Men Walking Away. And cheers.